Okay guys, we are back to the channel. So this is the new update which is gonna come in summer for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. This is the new game mode which they have not confirmed yet what's it gonna be called. Maybe like power, I don't know, power mode or developer or RPG mode, I have no idea. But this is a new official screenshot. This is from the actual press kit. So if you go to their official website, you can download all the images. And this is a new image. This one is of course a high resolution one from the trailer. This is from the trailer here. Looks very similar. Of course, it's obviously in a bit more lower resolution. This is like 4K. And here we see some very interesting stuff in this particular screenshot. Now, the first most important thing to know about this new mode, which I'm gonna call it, let's say, RPG mode, just for argument's sake, right? It is very interesting how it's all laid out. So you have, for example, here a Senzu beam at the bottom. So this is, I guess, if you die, you have a second chance, which is interesting. You also have here a ticket, and this ticket most likely means retrying a fight potentially. I'm not sure. Then you have a map filled with certain enemies. Now they have an SP level. As you can see here, SP Goku now has SP 65, and these enemies are actually quite strong. SP 65, 67, 72, Topo 65. This is Gohan 73. Frieza 73 as well. So you can then choose your destination. All right, you can see here you can have a Senzu bean if you want. You can collect the Dragon Balls as well, and you have an interesting thing which is called the stamina. So every single time, I guess, you do something, stamina will be consumed. So you're gonna have a limited number of turns. So you can see here, this is turn number 3, which is interesting. So you have 7 turns left. So I guess every turn you use 10 stamina. So you have to really plan your strategy accordingly, which is honestly quite interesting. So you will have, I guess, every day 10 turns, and then the day ends, and then after that day you can increase the level of your character. So going to the video per se, this is where we see the explanation. So first and foremost, in this new game mode, which again is just called Become a Greater Super Warrior, maybe it's gonna be called Super Warrior game mode, right? So check this one out. Right, so you have the map, the battle, and the level up. Now, unfortunately, you cannot travel around the map because you just go from point A to point B, which I guess it's a bit disappointing, but I understand why. Eventually gets boring, so you just want to fast track the activity. So you choose your destination, you do the fight, you level up, right? So in this one here, as you can see here, you go to the destination. Yeah, so straight away it goes there. You don't have to traverse yourself. It's just an automatic transition, right?
You have earned being crushed beneath my feet.
Then you have the battle event.
If you can complete the
And then in step 3, which I guess is at the end of the day, after the 10 turns, you can then increase your stats. Now, also in the, in the arena, I guess you can choose different battle arts. So when you meet all these masters, I guess because obviously you have sometimes fight, sometimes learning. So I guess you can meet certain characters and they will teach you certain techniques, like Master Roshi here. The main effect is increase SP by 10, and secondary effect, blast attack boost, defense boost, and skill gauge recovery boost 2, 1 and 7. And you see here you can add up to 3 battle arts, and then of course again you can expand them as you go. So really interesting stuff.
complete the task, I have a wonderful reward ready for you.
Well, are you ready?
And then here, of course, you can see that the results of that, which is crazy. So, the before and after. So it shows your increase in power, which kind of plays into that power fantasy of like, you want to make your ultimate warrior, your ultimate Saiyan, right? And I quite like it because this is what I was asking for in Dragon Ball Kakarot, right? This sort of thing, which we never got effectively into this level, right? Which is this one here is actually happening. And I'm so excited about this.
I'm not the same anymore.
So yeah, so that's the pretty much the end of that section, of course. Now, of course, this new mode also has new characters, of course, but you saw this already, right? And of course, you have new stages. The stratosphere looks pretty damn awesome, to be honest. But you know, we all saw this, but let's just talk a bit more about this new game mode, because this is what actually matters. The new game mode, which is this one here. Now, let's call this Super Warrior game mode, because that's a better name actually than RPG. So the Super Warrior game mode here in the map, so every single day that passes, obviously there's going to be different events. So day 2, after 10 turns, there's going to be a different event altogether, right? With different enemies as you grow. Now, this is what I find interesting. So I guess if you die in fight and you don't have any more senzu beans or reset, retry, or whatever this is, I have no idea, then I guess eventually your character will die and you have to start all over again, most likely, right? So this is potentially also like a roguelite kind of game. So how far can you get to increasing your stats? Now, because you can actually take your character to the online mode, maybe this one, you know, you can save your progress, and even if you die, you keep your progress on your development, which is a potential possibility. Because of course in the video it is say somewhere that I remember that you can actually go and take this to the online mode. Pretty sure. I mean, it was here somewhere where you said, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure somewhere it said that you can take these characters and use them in the online mode. Maybe I'm wrong, so you know, take that with a pinch of salt. Maybe that's not true, but it would be cool if you can take it to the online mode. So there's like a new online mode called Super Warrior, right, in which people can select these characters which they grinded upon and see, you know, how it plays out. That would be really nice, to be honest, because then, for example, if you create a character and you focus mainly on melee damage and your enemy focuses on Ki Blast, right? It would be a very interesting fight, kind of like to see who wins on that particular fight, right? So yeah, it'll be very interesting, to be honest, quite exciting. So yeah, so the whole kind of like updates, I mean, this one is called like Sparking Zero Super Limit Breaking Neo, right? Now this DLC, very important, we have here. So take it to the next level. Sparking Zero Super Limit Breaking Neo drops summer 2026, plus a free update introducing a new battle system. So this is interesting because I think, right, when they talk about the free update, this is more to do with this, with the actual battle system, which is here. This is, where is this, like they talked about, yeah, these. So this is a new battle system, so this is going to be free, of course, because this is part of the base game. But the actual game mode, which is obviously the new characters, new costumes, and of course this new game mode, you're gonna have to pay for it. I know you're gonna be disappointed, but most likely the new game mode is going to be a payable event, a payable DLC, because I don't believe that they are so kind that they're gonna give it to you for free. That's just not gonna happen, guys. I'm very sorry, but you know Bandai, I mean, come on. You know Bandai actually wants to charge you tons of money on this, of course, because they want to make money, they want to make profit. So, but at the end of the day, if this game mode is decent, and I'm hoping is decent, because we're gonna make a video on it on the channel. So if you don't want to buy it yet, that's absolutely fine. I'm sure people like me or other YouTubers, we will try the game mode, play it, you know, show it to you guys, so then you can, you know, decide if you want to get it or not, right? Because if it's, for example, $20, right, and the game mode sucks, or is too short, or is just boring very fast, then you might not want to buy it. But if the game mode is pretty interesting, because it looks quite interesting so far, to be honest. I mean, the fact that you can obviously choose any character, go through the leveling up system, and kind of like have that experience of building your hyper super warrior, honestly looks pretty interesting. And I believe that if they do this right, it's going to be an absolute banger, right? It is going to be quite interesting. So we'll see how it goes. Honestly, like, this is going to be interesting. And at the same time, guys, remember that this this game mode, which is coming in summer, this was also already in the previous game. So if you play the previous game, maybe some if you haven't, but if you play the previous game, you will know that, you know, there was a similar mode back in the Budokai Tenkaichis of the past. So some of you guys fully remember it, which is of course a very sought after mode. Same as the survival mode, which is already live. The survival mode is really good, really fun. So I'm really happy that, you know, Xenoverse 3, I'm really happy that Sparking Zero is actually getting a ton of love right now, and they're actually fixing the game single player elements, because single player was really poor at launch. So yeah, it took them a while, but finally we got what we deserve. more than 1 year after release, finally we have what we deserve, which is proper Dragon Ball Sparking Zero content, which is really great, right? So that's it for today's video, guys, on this one. Really exciting to see, of course, the new game mode, and yeah, this 4K screenshot from their website kind of tells you everything you need to know. So this is really cool because it says exactly how your experience is going to be, and it looks nice. I mean, it looks nice, the fact that, you know, you can, you know, you have 10 turns every single day, you can find the Dragon Balls. I wonder, like, when you find the Dragon Balls, can you wish for like more Senzu beans, or can you increase your power level like suddenly by like 20 points or 30 points, or like what do you actually get, right, in your particular request? So it's gonna be interesting, guys, of course, on this one. Of course, also gathering the Dragon Balls. Do you gather them by fighting? Do you gather them by just randomly finding a location, or I don't know, or they just show up on the map and you lose like one turn to gather it? I have no idea. So guys, that's it for today's video on this one. It looks pretty exciting, and honestly, I cannot wait. It's coming in summer 2026, so that could be potentially between June and August, right? So it could be any time of that. I believe it's going to be releasing at some point between July and August, because that's the time of the year when people come back from holidays, kind of like around August, right, just before school. So that makes a lot more sense. So guys, that's it for today's video on this one. As always, I shall see you later in the next ones.